I walked in this morning. I told Love, I told you this too. This type of conversation, I wish the YouTube chat was open.
Why?
Not that we would get distracted, but boy, what are a lot of roasters thinking when they hear Chris Sims? We're going to play the entire bite in just a second before shameless shoutouts. Look at the Robinson Bruno first. Robinson Bruno, we're going to play the entire Chris Sims soundbite about Brock Purdy.
Man, it's coming hard.
Take your phone calls, and then we're going to shameless shoutouts.
But here's what I want. I want to create a more sophisticated conversation. Everyone thinks Brock is good. We all are in agreement. It's how good, how great, and how much money to pay.
Yeah. Are you willing to pay Brock Purdy $55 million a season? That's basically where we're at. Let's get to Robinson Bruno. Rob, what's happening, man?
What's going on, fellas? Look, man, check this out. You play Brock Purdy that money, the downfall is it's there. You know what I'm saying? You can't be doing that. And yes, I'm very salty about how they sabotaged Trey Lance. I'm very salty about that. But that doesn't mean he's not good. That just means Kyle Shanahan like a certain type of quarterback. You know, he did say C.J. Beathard fits his system better than Mahomes. So, you know, I mean, it's good as that. But anyways, I'm going to say this, though. What the Niners do with their quarterbacks it works for the Niners. Brock fits what the Niners do. Is he a great quarterback? No. I don't think we're going to win a Super Bowl with him. You need a better quarterback. We did the same thing with Jimmy Garoppolo. The same results. We lost the Super Bowl. Won the NFC Championship game, lost the NFC Championship game, lost the Super Bowl. Same with Brock Purdy. And Brock Purdy has better weapons. It wasn't no BA in 2019. It wasn't no CMC. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, this is Cal's baby. I keep telling you, it's not about the quarterback. It's about Cal. If Cal's on his game and he playing a running game going, probably going to do well. But if you got a team with big defense linemen that stop the run game and force the Niners to make plays in the pocket throughout the numbers, I don't think his playbook is big enough. I don't think Purdy's arm is big enough. I don't think Purdy's big enough to make them plays consistently. To go against them AFC quarterbacks, come on now.
So what do you think, real quick, Rob? Chris Sims said a lot. He said that Green Bay can call plays that Kyle can't call plays for when it comes to Brock Purdy and Jordan Love. What'd you take from that when he said that Green Bay can call certain plays for Jordan Love that the Niners can't call for Brock Purdy?
It's true, but that's what Kyle wants. If Kyle wanted, like when he had Matt Ryan, he was throwing all them different plays. If he wanted that type of quarterback, he'll get one. But he likes the dump offs. The players he got more yard players. CMC coming out the backfield, Kittle across the middle. You don't need all the big ones to do. That's little stuff. Any mid quarterback can do that. You know what I'm saying? They just can't make the mistakes. So at the end of the day, it's true. If Kyle wanted an Elway type guy, like his daddy had when he finally won a Super Bowl, which he had to do because he wasn't winning with Greasy and all them other squares. He had to he needed a top flight guy, and he finally won one. Until Cal understands that you need a real one at quarterback, you can't think you the star of the show.
So let me guess. If Purdy gets the big bag and he's getting $55 million per year, you think that's going to sabotage this franchise?
Man, you know how these players do. It's real within the locker room. No, man, this dude ain't all that. Why he getting all this money? And I'm not getting paid, man. Stop it. We already know. So if that's what the Niners want to do, they can do that. But to me, the Niners win because they have players around their quarterback, very, very good players. But if they want to go to Mahomes, label Mahomes, it's just Mahomes, a second-round back, and a tight end. Can Purdy do that?
I don't know.
You feel comfortable with that?
No, I saw what it was like, and I didn't feel comfortable with it.
I'm not going to lie to you. I don't feel comfortable.
I don't feel comfortable at all.
Even though I really like the way they draft. I do. I really like the way they draft. I'd be lying to you if I said, like, look, you lost. You almost lost in the divisional round and the NFC Championship game with all the weapons.
Listen, I remember how you felt at the divisional round game both times. Minnesota and Green Bay.
Yeah.
And I know you're one of the biggest fans.
I know.
And I know what you told me right after walking out of Allegiant Stadium when we were depressed. After that Green Bay game, people were not happy because of the way they won. I'm trying to calm the waters again, saying, hey, they're going back to the NFC title game. But people were not happy. Spinoni, you remember, people were not happy with the way they won against Green Bay because the quarterback didn't look good. Now, some people say, well, it was raining. It was raining. Well, if I need a caveat for weather, guess what? Football's going to be played outdoors at times.
We live in Northern California. It's going to rain a little.
You know how many times the Niners had to go to Soldier Field?
Come on.
What did the NFC Championship? It was cold. No excuses. How many times I had to redo the sod at Candlestick Park for Steve Young and Joe Montana because of the nasty weather?
Now,
I don't want to hear about rain.
Well, and one thing that I would disagree with Rob on is, if I was in the AFC, I think I would look at the Brock situation differently. Being in the NFC, I think it does change the algorithm for how I'm viewing this. So, like, for example, if I knew I had to go to Baltimore or Pittsburgh or Cleveland or Buffalo or go through the AFC West into Kansas City, right? Those are all cold weather venues with big elite quarterbacks, right? I think it would change how I view Brock Purdy. Because you're in the NFC, there are some dome teams that are like Detroit, right? I think Detroit is going to be one of the top teams the next couple of years. Well, even if Detroit gets home field advantage, it's a dome. Kind of like that for Brock Purdy. And Jared Goff against Brock, like, okay, all right, I can go to war with that. If I'm going up against Herbert, Allen, Mahomes, Lamar, I do think that just, I'm not saying that I'm...
Herbert's in a dome, let's be fair. But to your point,
them,
well, to your point, I was just going to say, follow that up by saying, we're going to see Brock Purdy in Buffalo this season. We're going to see Brock Purdy in Green Bay. Matter of fact, we're going to see that in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah.
We're going to see Brock Purdy against some cold weather teams around the time where you're playing Green Bay Thanksgiving Day weekend, you're playing Buffalo December 1st, you play down in Miami, right? And it may be humid in Miami. It's always humid in Miami. Who the hell knows?
I look at like the Dolphins situation. I think Purdy is so much better than Tua. Period. Just period. I look at Tua and I'm like, there's just no way in hell I would ever pay Tua any of that money. Not even because I don't think he's good enough. Because I don't think he's good enough against those quarterbacks in the AFC that I listed.
And
also, I saw him in the weather against Kansas City, and he couldn't throw the ball.
He couldn't throw the football. So
I'm out on Tua on a variety of levels. Check, all against him.
Would Niner fans want Tua?
No.
You don't think so?
No, I don't want Tua. No. Purdy's better than Tua.
That was a good deep ball. All right, let's play the entire soundbite here. Shameless shout-outs. Line them up. 888-957-9570. You can shout out whoever you want to shout out in case you're new to the program. Shameless shout-outs is basically a segment where you can shout out whatever you want. You want to shout out your coffee mug? You want to shout out your dog? You want to shout out your daughters, your sons, your kids, graduates, teachers, cops, whoever you want to shout out. 888-957-9570 is a number. We'll do shameless shout-outs in 10 minutes. But before that, we'll play the entire Chris Sims soundbite right now, Spinoni. Chris Sims with Ahmed Fareed on their podcast. What is their podcast name, by the way? Podcast.
Chris Sims Unbuttoned, I believe it was.
Chris Sims Unbuttoned with Ahmed Fareed.
Should be called Rattled, as in Chris Sims rattles fan bases.
He does. Well, he rattled the 49ers with 4 minutes of this sound right here. Here's Chris Sims on Brock Purdy, where he places Brock Purdy in the National Football League.
If anybody heard me during the season, I don't think anybody would be too shocked with what I ranked him if anybody was a regular listener.
Correct.
I mean, I think I was always trying to tell people, hey, he's really good. Am I willing to say he's one of the 8 or 10 best quarterbacks in football? I was always on here kind of telling you, no, I don't think that, right? So
Alan Byrne kind of sums it up here.
Right.
Let me
Yeah,
get
go
his.
ahead.
He goes, just wondering why, after a year and a half of Purdy playing better at a better level, and after a serious injury than a year of Jordan Love is ranked higher.
Yeah. Well, again, Jordan Love, what he did at the end of the year and all of that. I mean, again, the last 10 weeks of the season, right? I mean, they took the training wheels off. He played at a phenomenally high level, right? And really was asked to do more, definitely on a physical basis, right? Now, is he quite where, Purdy is as far as diagnosing a defense and having feel and instincts to get to a place a hair quicker, right, than Jordan Love? Yeah, Purdy's better at that, for sure. But Jordan Love ain't bad at that. It's not bad. I mean, Jordan Love, I know other than those last damn 2 throws we saw, you'd go, wow, there's a lot of good decisions, high-level decisions. And there's a lot of plays that Green Bay can call in their offense that the 49ers cannot. And again, what I'm trying to say to you, like we showed a highlight package yesterday of Purdy on our PFT show. And the thing that I always come away with is go, look, there's no defenders in the screen in some of them. And we're going, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And I'm going, guys, it's not that amazing. Really, they were in a room all week and Shanahan said, hey, we're drawing up this play and it's going to screw them over and this guy's going to be so wide open, it's going to be a touchdown. And we have fans that are putting that stuff on a pedestal, like he's the only guy in football that could do that. He's the only guy that could listen to Shanahan say, throw to this guy, he'll be open, and he did it, right? And they have a lot of that in their offense. So that's where, again, this is a tough spot, right? But I'd fall into the comment again of with Jordan Love. If Jordan Love played in the Super Bowl, the 49ers would be the Super Bowl champions. That's what I would say.
Wow.
He would make some of those throws that I'd go, wait, just hop and do this, and he's open. It's a touchdown. Why do we have to keep staying here just because our body has to be in the position to throw this guy? And he's not even capable of doing some of that stuff. So, again, it's really good. I don't want to get messed up.
Above average starting quarterback in the NFL.
I mean, yes, he's damn good, but there's some things still, like if you went back, okay, Jordan Love had the 2 interceptions at the end of the game. Jordan Love in that game played better than Brock Purdy. I mean, Brock Purdy should have thrown 7 interceptions in that game. He got lucky that night. We'd all be talking differently if there's Green Bay could catch. I mean, it was not a good night, let alone, right, that game. There's other games, too. Again, what bothered me about it more than anything is when the Shanahan specials, and you know how I like to talk like that, when they weren't working on all cylinders, right, there's not a lot that Purdy does to bring the offense back up. Now, he does more than Jimmy Garoppolo used to do, and it's definitely an improvement in that in all areas, but it's still, I'd like to see some more. And like I told you, too, there's more missed throws than people realize. If we went back and watched games and stuff, I'd go, yeah, I mean, this is a missed throw. But nobody cares because Shanahan dialed up a play, and they're so good. Somebody's wide open the next play for a 40-yard gain. And I'm just going to go, a lot of teams in football, quarterbacks don't have that luxury of going, damn, I missed a wide open 30-yard throw. No big deal. Guy will be open the next drive. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks go, that might have been my only time all game to have anybody open downfield. Oh, I missed it, right? So those are things you got to take into account, and those are the things that jump out to me when I watch 180 throws, 210 throws in a row. You start to see that stuff.
The funny thing is, if 2 years ago you would have said Brock Purdy is the 17th best quarterback in the NFL, people would have said you're crazy.
I can't
He's the last
win,
pick of the draft.
and it drives me crazy. It's like I told you with the Jalen Hurts thing. I mean, last year I'm crazy. He's the best quarterback in football. This year I make him 9. You're crazy. He's lower than that. I've gotten that more than anything. And I'm like, what? No. And I think the truth is somewhere in between. I think it's actually where I got him ranked. Last year was 7. This year's 9. I think that's where it is.
Chris Sims with I'm there for Reed. So what do you guys think about that? 888-957-9570. Worldwide Hef just tapped in. You know you got to get a Worldwide Hef in there. So sending me a lot of basketball cards and stuff like that. Sorry, Hef, I haven't got back to you. But no lies detected. Chris Sims making a point. Making a good point. Is he making a good point? Now, this is another point that I saw on the text line during that interview, Shasky. Somebody, 510, Xfinity Mobile text line. Didn't Purdy play football in Iowa? It's cold there, right? The weather could get a little nasty there, right? I think it does. I think the weather gets, I've never been to Iowa. I never planned on going to Iowa, but I hear that the weather gets nasty. So why do we make the excuses about the rain or the cold weather when it comes to Brock Purdy? We shouldn't.
I don't know. It's someone who's more versed in his college career might know. Maybe that's baked into why he slipped in the draft.
Maybe.
Performances in the cold. I don't know. But I'll tell you this, playing in snow and playing in rain are different.
Yes.
They are. They are. It's different. Some think it's harder to play in snow. Some think it's easier to play in snow. Some think it's harder to play in rain. Some think it's easier. I don't know. The thing that I have a question on, when he says like the Shanahan Special, meaning they miss a play and then they dial up a big gain right after, is that they dialed up a play because of how good all of the other playmakers are, combined with Shanahan's excellence as a play caller? Or would any player, like in the terms of war, like replacement player X, would be wide open no matter what because Shanahan's so good at sequencing and finding gaps? That's the number one question that I have.
Well, it is funny because I started thinking about Nick Mullins, right? And you know how I felt about Nick Mullins, Nickel Nick. Money Mullins, whatever you want to call him.
Bitcoin Nick.
Bitcoin, no, that was Bitcoin Bethard.
Oh, Bitcoin Bethard.
Bitcoin Bethard. Nickel Nick. Money Mullins, whatever you want to say. A lot of people use the argument, This is why you place Nick Mullins, or you replace Jimmy Garoppolo with Nick Mullins. He threw for the most yards. What's the graphic or the stat where he threw for more yards in a 3-game stretch?
Most yards in a 16-game start to a season.
Wow.
That's what it was.
Was it that for Nick Mullins?
Mm-hmm.
3 games where he threw for over 1,200 yards or something like
his
that?
first game ever was against the Raiders in the final Battle of the Bay game.
Yeah,
I think
Thursday
it was
night.
245 yards and 3 touchdowns.
So the passing yards in first 13 starts, he had 3,610.
I knew it was something like that.
It's the graphic is Mahomes was 4,200, Andrew Luck was 3,700, and Nick Mullins right after it.
But people said that was the Shanahan Special. Is that what the Shanahan Special is, by the way? 3 minutes until Shanahan shoutouts. I already see you line it up. 888-957-9570. Maybe you shout out Chris Sims. Maybe you shout out Chris Sims in his take, like Kenny Caraway, who's just texting us right now, Shasky.
What's he
Kenny
saying?
Caraway. Sims sounds like a dumbass. There's going to be a lot of Niner fans who feel like that. Does he sound like a dumbass? What do you think about his take? We just played 4 minutes there, Chris Sims, breaking down Brock Purdy and why he has Brock Purdy ranked 17th in the league. And the reason why we're also bringing it up is because Trevor Lawrence has got a big bag. $55 million per year.
And again, we discussed it earlier. I like Trevor Lawrence. I root for Trevor Lawrence. There's no way in hell I would feel comfortable giving him that deal.
$200 million guaranteed, 5 years, $274, $142 million signing bonus. Are you ready for Brock Purdy to get that headline? Brock Purdy re-signs with San Francisco. 5 years, $300 million, $220 guaranteed. You ready for that, Niner fans? For Brock Purdy?
Look, the alternative.
I'm not ready for that.
The alternative is like going into the draft and trying to find a placeholder, and that is its own level of scare. You know, that scares the hell out of me. A bad contract, though, those things are like.
They set you back and get people fired.
They do. They crumble you. So does missing in the draft.
Right.
Okay? Moving off of Tom Brady and going to Mac Jones gets you fired, even with 6 Super Bowls.
And credit to Shanahan.
Both are scary propositions.
If they don't fire Brock Purdy, is Shanahan here today after whiffing on Trey Lance?
That's a great question. I mean. I don't have the answer.
We don't even bat an eye anymore.
I don't even.
And they missed on Trey Lance, and they got contract extensions. All right. So maybe they do pay Brock Purdy because he saved jobs.
I was
going to get the Kurt in San Francisco, but he just dropped off.
This is going to sound absurd, but I'll keep coming back to it. If Purdy takes a discount at $45 million, he will be the conquering hero for at least a couple of weeks.
Even $45 million, what's the guarantee look like?
No, $45 million is under the 20% that I need. To me, the sweet spot is
per year.
I know, but okay.
$45 million per year.
Everybody applauds Tom Brady. Everybody applauds. Yep. I did the math. Okay.
Yeah.
At no point did he soak up more than 11 during the glory years of his early run. Did he soak up more than 11% of the salary cap? Okay. That was the beauty.
That was the early years?
The early years.
Now, what about the 2010s?
As it got older, no more than 13%. Okay? And 20% of the salary cap for just one player. Again, the only guy I feel comfortable with doing that is Mahomes. And so you'd say, Joe, your counter would be, and it's a fair one. Then, Joe, you're never signing any quarterback. And yeah, you're right. I would look foolish. So I just
707 Xfinity Mobile text line. 707.
I feel like Steiny.
707 Xfinity Mobile text line. Brock will take less. He knows his abilities are not Patrick Mahomes like. He also knows he needs everyone around him. So I don't know what Brock.
I love how we bestow this aw shucks. I'll just settle for $45 million.
No, that's not how athletes think. Oh, he's just going to take a hometown discount because he's a nice guy. Sure. Trevor Lawrence is a nice guy. Did he take a hometown discount?
Well,
hell
Brock's
no, he got his
guy.
bag.
What was that?
Brock is a nicer guy than Trevor. That's
He's
why
a
Brock
nicer
was
guy. Even though we call Trevor Lawrence Sunshine. Sunshine was the nicest guy, remember the Titans. Nice as hell from California. The ladies loved him. Sunshine, he can do no wrong. Oh, shucks, Clemson, Dabo Sweetie, Trevor Lawrence. Oh, he's just a good old dude.
How many
he got $55 million per year and $200 million guaranteed.
So coming off an Achilles, way older, less of the playoff resume. Kirk Cousins had $150 million guaranteed waiting for him in Atlanta. Coming off an Achilles at 33 years old.
Right.
How many teams in the league right now are saying, we'll take Brock for $150 guaranteed? Let's do the exercise very quickly. I think New Orleans would take him.
Okay.
I do. I do. I think they
Carolina?
would in a heartbeat.
Carolina?
I think Carolina would take him too in a heartbeat. I do. I really do. Even if they like Bryce Young, whatever, I do. I think they take him. Would Washington, even though they have Jaden Daniels, would they have done it prior?
I don't know. Adam Peters is going there.
Huh?
Maybe they do. Maybe they do.
I think
Raiders
they would.
definitely taking him, by the way.
What?
Raiders are definitely taking him.
So the Raiders would take him? You think the Raiders would take him?
Yes.
Okay.
Denver?
Yes.
Y'all
Sean
over
Payton,
Bo Nix?
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He loved Trevor Siemian. Like,
by the
yeah,
way,
absolutely.
They drafted Bo Nix in the top
didn't
15. Sean Payton is a dead man walking in Denver, Colorado. Bo Nix is going to get somebody fired, I believe.
Seattle.
Well, Dick Fan joined us from KJR last year, said Geno Smith could do what Brock Purdy's doing to Shanahan's offense.
And I thought that was an absurd take.
I don't think they take Brock Purdy at that price.
Crazy. Okay.
Does McVay? No, I don't think McVay does.
I don't know.
I don't think Sean McVay does.
I don't know. How about Pittsburgh?
Interesting.
I think they would.
Did we ask Filipponi about that? I don't know if we asked Andrew Filipponi, our boy
I
from
think we
Pittsburgh.
asked him, it was more about Ayuk with him. I don't think we specifically asked him, would you take Purdy?
We didn't ask him about Purdy at all?
Because they're a team with, I consider, no quarterback.
Well, last year, they compared Pickett to Purdy and thought they were
that
very
was
comparable
not-
because it was heading into week one,
Yeah,
right? And
it's
then
true.
they were so wrong about that, obviously.
Well, they were blown away by Ayuk, obviously. Not even Purdy. They were blown away by Ayuk.
Were they blown away by our right tackle, Colton McKivitz, when he almost got Purdy killed like 2 plays
3
into the
times.
season? Where he literally was laying in Purdy's lap for about 4 consecutive plays.